What's up, everybody? Hey, welcome to another season of the Let That Marinate podcast. I am your dude, Lorenzo, of course, and yes, I'm calling it another season because I have taken quite a bit of time off. Man, your boy's busy. Your boy's been busy. Work, acting, father. So much has been going on, so I had to take some time to get everything squared away, get everything situated. But hey, man, we are back. And I want to take this time to say thank you to all of my supporters. Thank you so much for the love, man. I've had so many people reach out. Hey, man, when's the next podcast coming? It's time for another podcast. Um, so yeah, it's been really overwhelming. The support and the love I've been receiving. This is just something I wanted to try out, something that I wanted to get into, and um, I was a bit nervous at first when I first started it, but hey, man, the support and the love I've been getting from y'all, man, it really means a lot. And I just appreciate y'all, man. I really do. And hopefully y'all will continue to rock with your boy and continue to help me keep this thing going, you know what I mean? So I want to get into something real quick. So much going on in the world, of course. It's hard to keep up with all the things that's going on, but there is one particular um topic I want to get into. So the University of Michigan football head coach Sherrone Moore was recently fired. He lost his coaching position due to him having an affair. You know, um, and he also ended up um, getting locked up as well for breaking and entering an assault. Very unfortunate. It's very heartbreaking. To see um, another black man go down like that. Thoughts and prayers go out to him, his family, everybody that was involved. Um, the football players, of course, the organization. It's a tough situation. You know, but what I wanted to get into about that though is so there. Of course, this story has is been buzzing all over social media, all on the sports networks. All of the former athletes, former analysts, who are now doing podcasts, and they've been talking about it as well, giving their opinions and their take on it. Um, One in particular, though, Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark, he was on First Take, and Ryan Clark, former NFL player. He's now sports analyst for ESPN. He also has the Pivot podcast, and they're doing an amazing job. By the way, I love that podcast. Um, but he was on First Take, and he brought up, of course they were talking about the situation, but he made mention about how Sherrone Moore failed his family, failed um, his football team, failed the organization. And he also said he failed a community of black coaches. And I got to be honest. I got to be honest. Um, I really wish we'd stop pushing this narrative. Anytime a black person messes up, anytime there's some sort of controversy going on involving um, black people, I just hate when people push the narrative that they failed the community. No, he didn't. He didn't fail me. He doesn't represent me. I'm a black man um, who, of course, I don't subscribe to beating a person while they're down. I don't subscribe to, um, you know, bashing someone, anytime that they're going through some things. I just don't, you know, participating in any of that. However, I don't like the idea that he failed a community. You know, now he did say um, on first take that he failed a community of coaches. But I think he went on his podcast and he, brought up, how he failed the black community. And again, I hate when that narrative is being put out there. You know, he didn't fail the black community. He failed himself. Okay? He failed himself. What he did has nothing to do with me, has nothing to do with any other black person or any other black man, you know. And it's just, and I just find it to be, crazy how, you know, um, he was. It's crazy to to say that he was fired because he was black, or anything like that. Him being fired has nothing to do with him being black. He got fired because he messed up, plain and simple. Doesn't matter what color you are. When you mess up, when you go against company policy, when you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing, yes, you're gonna reap the benefits of that. You're gonna have to deal with the consequences. Um, but again, to say that he failed the black community, we got to stop that. We got to stop that because now it's going to be a lot of, it's going to be a lot of black men who aspire to be a head coach someday. Now they're going to be thinking that, okay, is this how they're going to, perceive me? Is this narrative that's being pushed? Is this the narrative that I'm going to have to worry about? Instead of just, you know, getting the job as a head coach. Um, like I really wish, like, if it were me, if I was going for a job, a head coaching job, I would want them to think of me as someone who can, not only come in and you know um, bring a winning attitude and a winning spirit. I don't want it to just be about winning ball games. I also want to be um, looked at as a leader of men. Someone who can make changes, not just regarding the football program, but um, to help build men, to help prepare them for you know the outside world, things outside of football. you know, yes, you have players who they may want to go to the league and they may want to, play professional sports, but you also have those who aspire to graduate. They want their degree. They may want to, I don't know, get a job in engineering. They may want to be a doctor. They may want to be a lawyer. They may want to be a judge, police officer, something. They may have other aspirations, um, and other endeavors that they want to partake in. And as a football head coach, you know, you should be you should be willing to help build these young men into becoming what they aspire to be, not just football players, but men. You want to inspire them to be men, right? And I have no doubt that Sherrone Moore was doing that, but this unfortunate situation just kind of, um, you know, took a turn for the worse for him. And again, my thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family, because I know this is a really tough situation. Um, but again, I just hate when you have these sports analysts, these celebrities, these individuals with huge platforms. I just hate when they use their platform to push these narratives. I hate when they do that. Because uh, yes, we know he messed up. Yes, we know that again he failed himself. He failed his family, the team. the organization. We know that. We get that. And he's going to have to deal with that. But he didn't fail us as a community. He didn't fail me as a black man. I have nothing to do with that. What he did has nothing to do with me. He doesn't represent me. He doesn't represent the entire black community. You know what I mean? I don't think he represents um, you know, individuals who want to be coaches, want to be head coaches. I don't think he felt a community of coaches because I'm sure when they heard Ryan Clark say that, they were like, yeah, that has nothing to do with me. If I ever get an opportunity to be a head coach, that's not going to be me. So don't don't push that narrative on me, right? And it's and I get that the position Ryan Clark was in because of course, he works for ESPN, and being that it's a sports um issue, yes, they have to talk about it, right? They have to talk about it. And they don't have a script on what to say. They just get in front of the camera and they just talk about it. You know what I mean? They just say whatever comes to mind. They speak on a situation and um whatever whatever thoughts that they have about it, they're going to speak it. I understand they have a job to do. You know, my thing is just be mindful of what you say because First Take is a huge platform. ESPN, that's a monumental network. So of course, whatever is being said on whatever platform, whether it's First Take, whether it's Get Up, whether it's Sports Center, um, the Pat McAfee show, any sports show that's on that network, people people watch that show. So of course they pay attention to what's being said, and what you say, it will resonate with a lot of people. It's gonna stick. And when Ryan Clark said what he said, yes, it did bother a host of black people. It bothered other um, former athletes and podcasters now, like Marcellus Wiley. He spoke on it, you know, um, and a lot of the things that he said about Ryan Clark, I can understand why he felt that way. Marcellus Wiley said the same thing, and I'm saying he doesn't represent me. He doesn't represent every black person in the community. He doesn't speak for every black person. Just say he failed himself. Just say he failed his family. But he did not fail the black community. He did not fail black men. He did not fail a community of future black coaches. He didn't. He failed himself. And he's the one that's going to have to suffer. Not not us, not future black coaches, not the black community. We're not suffering because of what he did. We have nothing to do with that. And again, I'm not going to participate in bashing this man because the truth is we've all messed up in some way. The difference is some are publicly known, some are not. But I promise you, if walls could talk, it'd be a lot of us that would, probably keep our mouths shut and probably be a little bit more mindful on how we speak on a situation, how we speak on other people's lives. So I'm not going to participate in bashing this man. I'm not going to participate in beating him while he's down. Um, you know, again, it's unfortunate. I believe he was the first African American to become a football coach for that program. Um, I think he started out as a assistant coach at the Central Michigan. So for him to uh, get bumped up to head coach, at a premier school like the University of Michigan, I thought that was big. I thought that was huge. So again, that's why it's unfortunate that this situation happened. Um, but at the end of the day, all we can do is just you know pray for him, pray for his family, pray for all those who were involved. Um, Of course, we don't know. I don't. Well, at least I don't know who the young lady was that was involved. Um, but I'm sure. She's probably. Um, I'm sure she's impacted by what happened as well. You know what I mean? So, prayers out to her as well. But again, at the end of the day, um, just because one messes up doesn't mean that that's a reflection of the rest of us. I know that old saying of one bad apple spoils a bunch. That's not the case in every situation. That is not the case in every situation. Again, he doesn't represent me. He's not a representative of me. Okay. Yes, I've messed up before. I've held myself accountable, made made things right, or at least tried to. Um, but if we're gonna say if we're gonna say that he failed the community, um, we can't just limit it to just one race, because there's a host of people, black, white, whatever the race is. There's a host of us that has messed up in some capacity. That's had big positions like this, right? So if we're gonna say he failed a race, then let it be the human race. But don't just limit it to black people. Black people is not responsible for every failure. Black people are not responsible for every mess up. We're only responsible for what we do individually. And that's the case with him. He's going to have to, suffer the consequences for his actions, right? Has nothing to do with nobody else. So, um, yeah, again, man, I just wish we stop pushing this narrative and we just stop trying to, you know, um, just make it seem like, when one messes up, we all mess up. No, 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 can't do that. Can't do that. Can't put that on everybody else. Anyway, man, that's my take on that. And you know, as I said, man, hopefully things work out. I'm sure it's gonna be tough. I don't think he'll be able to bounce back. Especially with because he didn't just um he just didn't get fired. I think he also got prosecuted. You know, because the guy had, from my understanding, he's prosecuted for breaking and entering. For assault. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, this is it's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate. And hang on, let me see. Let me make sure. Um, let me make sure I got this right. Um, yeah, says he was charged with 3 crimes: home invasion, you know, um, and a couple other misdemeanors. They charged him with 3 crimes. Home invasion was one. Um, let me see what else. Breaking and entering, um, stalking in a domestic relationship. So he was arrested. He was later released. You know. Um, so yeah, it's yeah. I don't think he'll be able to bounce back from this. And um, as a black man, yes, it does hurt to see this sort of thing happen. To another black man, because like I said, that's a pretty huge step up. That's a pretty huge accomplishment. To become the head coach. For a university, such as Michigan. Um, so yeah, I'm sad for him, sad for his family. You know, but again, please let's not make this about race. Let's not make this about race. This what he did has nothing to do with the black community. What he did has nothing to do with black men or future black coaches. It has nothing to do with them. This is all him. He made the mistake. He messed up. So he's the one that's going to have to deal with that. So yeah, this false narrative that's being pushed, we really need to quit it. We got to. Because not every black person, not every black person messes up the same. We don't mess up the same, and we shouldn't be responsible for everybody else's mess ups. Not at all. Anyway, man, that's my time for today. Again, welcome to another season of the Let That Marinate podcast. I will be coming with more episodes. This time around, I'm gonna be a little bit more consistent. Really haven't decided how many episodes I'm gonna do a week, but you will get an episode from your boy. Just be on the lookout for it. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please follow me on all social media platforms. Just type in my name, Lorenzo James Darden Jr., and pretty much everything, every social media platform that I'm on should pull up. Also go to the website, www.lorenzojamesdardenjr.com, and be sure to connect with your boy. Anyway, man, that's my time. Thank y'all once again for the love and support, and let's keep this thing rocking. Let's keep this thing rolling, man. Till next time, salute. Let that marinate.